They look terrible.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. That's so funny, Sean, because you are the 15th person who, when I said live, they make fun of how every single time the person starts talking,
something wrong.
Always, every time I say we're going live, and then everybody talks, which is
Right.
hysterical. Guys, welcome back to Live at the Roxy. I'm sorry we're not up at our normal time. I was shooting a gig for Rotten Tomatoes this morning, which I was really excited about, doing a Breaking Bad Team Walt versus Team Jesse situation. So it's been a fun morning, but it's going to be an even more fun afternoon because character actor and my acting coach, Sean Whalen, is in the house.
Hello.
Woo! And the crowd goes wild, Sean.
And the crowd goes wild.
Live studio audience made up of me. Sean, I've been doing this show for a minute, and you and I have been friends and working together for a minute, but this is your first time making an appearance on the show. Should I take it personally?
No, I was never invited, so I should take it personally.
And
by the way, on the record, I just have to start right off the bat, and I'm not trying to be negative. I hate the term a minute. I want it to go away. I want it to leave.
What, a minute? Like I haven't seen him in a minute, or we've been doing this for a minute?
I despise that.
Why do you hate a minute?
Because there's no, like, it's not even see, like a while I think we know what a while is now a little bit, it might take a while. Like, I think we've adjusted to a while, but a minute, we still don't know. It could be a couple weeks to a few months. And
what's a while? How long's a while?
I mean, a while looks to me, a while to me would be at least 3 to 6 months. Like, that's a while. Like, yeah, it might take a while. But take a minute, I don't know what you mean. Because first of all, it's using the term of a short amount of time to mean a long time.
Yeah, but
like, you saying me and you working a minute is insane. We've worked together for like a year and a half. That's not a minute.
Yeah, but a while, Sean, also I could be like, all right, I'll be over in a while. That could mean that day. No.
But we all know, I think we've adjusted to what a while is. I just think it's the Wild West of a minute. And I think people use it. My manager, Gary, will literally say, like, yeah, but I want that producer to get back to you. It just might take a minute. And I go, dude, what does that mean? Does that mean 2 weeks, or does it mean 3 months?
I think that people use it often when they don't have an exact amount of time.
Right.
Because if Gary knew, he would say he'll get back to you in 2 to 4 weeks.
Right. But I think it's just because it's so new and and I don't think anyone really knows. So for me, for you to say we've been working together for a minute is insane. We've been working for a year and a half.
How many minutes is that, Sean?
We've been working together for a while.
Yeah, but that's another arbitrary term.
But a while is known now.
Also, a year and a half. I think it's been 2 years.
Wait, we started in August of 18.
Right. So, and we're currently in April.
Right. So we're not, so a little over a year and a half, right? So May, June, July, August. Yeah, so a little over.
Okay.
So it's closer to a year and a half than it is 2.
That's so funny that in my head, April and August are closer to each other than they are in real life.
We started working together then, but we met several months before that.
Okay. So
because of the play and stuff like that. So we've probably known each other for a couple years, worked together for a year and a half.
Guys, Sean and I met, true story, at a Coffee Bean.
At a Coffee Bean in Encino, California.
At a Coffee Bean in Encino. I was wearing, for any of you guys who watched the Tomorrow Show, I was wearing my Star Trek Tomorrow Show uniform. And Sean just casually, it was me, Kevin, and a couple other people from the ship.
But you and another woman were there. It was
was it Ashley?
I think it was you and Ashley.
Daniels?
Kevin was sitting down, so I didn't see him. I just saw you two.
Okay.
And Sheena and I sat down, my girlfriend and I sat down, and I looked over and I saw these 2 women in a Star Trek uniform, and I go, I kind of have to say something. And she was like, ugh, why? And I go, because, I mean, it's fun. And so I walked up and I said,
are you guys going to a convention?
Yeah. I said, where's the convention?
And I said, no, we're part of the show. And then Kevin got up and pointed right at Sean. Pointed at Sean and said, you're famous.
In my face, like a finger right in my face. He's like, you're famous. I was like, I know you.
But it's so funny because I think that it could be off-putting if some people did that, but there's something about Kevin where it's just like
No, it didn't
stating
bother me at
facts.
all.
Stating facts. You're famous. Yes, you are. Okay,
Yeah.
moving forward. Like,
Yeah,
and
and we
that's how we
talked
got you
about
on
my
the
play,
show.
and
Yeah.
he was excited about the play premise, and then yeah, got me on tomorrow's show, and then he just liked the way I handle myself on that show, and
you
asked
never
me to
know who
do.
you're going to meet, when you're
You
going to meet
never
them,
know.
where you're going to meet them. It's
And
a
if
whole
I
thing.
wasn't proactive and gone, then it would have been an opportunity missed.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And then, the largest opportunity, you being on this show, the biggest deal so far. So
far,
yes, in your whole career, probably this is the shining moment.
Well, I mean, this is like, I've written my autobiography, and this is the last chapter, and the whole thing is about making it. And then, so this is
the rise to live at the Roxy.
Yeah, live at the Roxy, the journey to get there. Is the tentative title.
Wait, it's kind of interesting, Sean, that in your autobiography, my name is in the title and yours isn't. I think that's respectful.
I have to ride your coattails to the.
Yeah, that is how our relationship works, for sure.
Yeah, I just have to take whatever I can get to if people drop their famous route, I have to just, I know it's exploitive, and you haven't gotten the call from my lawyers yet, but I'm actually begging you here on this show, please let me use that title.
Yeah,
so I can just sell a few copies.
I think I want to sell
a few copies.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you a few. Obviously, I'll take my typical, not just 10, but 20%.
Of course.
So I'm glad we're on the same page about that.
And I know you'll, as always, will demand ownership of the piece.
Oh, yeah. I mean, wasn't even going to say that to them. They didn't need to know that.
They didn't need to know it. That's obvious. That's just obvious.
Sean, we got questions coming in from you, and I appreciate you guys. So there's multiple ways to ask Sean questions or me questions, to talk to us. And if you want your comment read out loud, then just make sure you go to streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, or right here in the super chat. Also on my Patreon, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer. Those are all ways that will get your comment read on the show. Let's start with the Streamlabs coming in from Weston Ira, who says, Bienvenidos. Ooh, we're so multicultural on the show. We are. After the underrated Charlie's Angels didn't get off the ground, and Underwater now also not doing very well, do you think Kristen Stewart's last scandal with one of her directors has ruined her box office potential? Sean, what do you make of that?
I think it's, if she had the perfect project, I don't know how. I seriously don't believe that movies are star driven anymore.
Right.
I think and that was I think I even said that before to you, that when Julia Roberts and Tom Hanks did a movie where he co-wrote it and directed it, and that movie tanked, I literally came home and said to my girlfriend, movie stars are over. Like, that's over.
There still seems to be legitimately two.
Your Kevin Hart's, and that get movies made, but they get movies made. They're in them. But if Rock's in a bad movie, it doesn't do well. And if Kevin Hart is in a movie that people don't want to see, it doesn't do well. Tom Cruise, same thing. I mean, like, Tom Cruise, there's no mistaking that he's redoing. What's the airplane? Why am I blanking? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he's redoing.
I just wanted to let you sit in that for a second.
You did.
Yeah.
And I just bumped your take to 25%.
This is what you did. You said, what's the, it's just like, what part
of this? It's like I'm brushing my mustache.
What's the? Yes, of course, Top Gun. Yes.
Yes, of course.
How could I have not gotten that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm saying it's a story-driven society. So I would say if she was in Little Women, let's say, I don't think we would be having this discussion. I don't think either of those movies were ones that people were super interested in.
I think that she is ridiculously talented. And I think, in the same way, that it took Robert Pattinson a minute to figure out his path and what he was going to do, and taking a lot of indies, obviously, prior to getting Batman. I just think when you come from where the background she's come from, sometimes it can be difficult. And I don't know that it has to do with the scandal, but possibly. Sean, are you hearing me echo when I'm talking right now? Is that coming in for you?
Huh. I don't have an echo.
Interesting. It's the first time that's happened. Anyway.
I'm just welcome to my nightmare, because every technical person I've ever called in my whole life, literally I'll say, well, what about this? What about this? And I go, is this a common problem? And the refrain from every technical call I ever make, computer, phone, everything, they go, I've never had that happen before.
Me too. That's the running. I feel like that's the joke for me every time. Every single time.
I've got to come curse. And my girlfriend used to laugh at me because I'd start working with her computer, and then she goes, stop touching my stuff.
Like, no, they all say they're hearing an echo. They all say it.
They all say it. I don't know why I don't have it.
Yeah, it might fix itself in a minute, says Jake. But I don't know. It's never happened to me before. Sean, I blame it on you, honestly.
I would. There's no real... And you just got bumped up to 30%. So I
wonder if it's the headphones. I know the headphones work for us on our acting class weekly.
Do you want me to take these out?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see how it goes.
Is this better?
Possible. Yes. No, maybe so. Let's see. Hello. Live on the show. We are doing a mic test live on the show. Yeah, I think that is better. You guys let me know at home. I appreciate you standing with us. But I think it is, Sean. I think it is. Funny enough, today I was on the phone so I've been trying to get the new SIM card for my hotspot, and the woman said to me, oh, it's been delivered and you installed it. And I said, no, I never got it. So I definitely didn't install it. And she said, no, it's been activated. And I said, okay, well, I haven't received it. So I certainly didn't activate it. And she's like, no, you did. And I was like, okay, fantastic. Yep. Wow. Interesting. I don't hear an echo now, says Manny, but Ryan says, now I can't hear Sean. Sean, Mr. Sean. I don't know.
Replug.
I'll try a replug. Everybody likes a good replug.
We're all adults here.
That's so true. I think that might be the thing. I think we might have done it. We're all in this together.
Yeah. Hello. Is this better or the same?
I think it's better. It was just a little bit of a loose connection.
Okay, is that better?
Totally. All right, moving forward. Question, Weston, coming in from Morse Code Z. I would have made it if I wasn't working and having to pause every once in a while, but I'm here live with DeMarcus on pause. My linebacker would have been Etrigan. Who's Etrigan, though? So DeMarcus Ware, who's a legendary NFL player from the Cowboys. I did a video with him this week talking about the NFL draft, and we basically drafted a team of TV and movie characters to play, like, who would be quarterback, who would be linebacker, things like that. It was really fun. So I think that's what they're talking about. Thanks for watching that. That's over on Screen Junkies, guys. Go check that out. Glenn Caesar says, hi, Roxy and Sean. Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining Roxy and virtually hanging out with us today. Sean, glad you're in the Rockstars band. I'm interested to learn more about you during the show. Sean, if you could pick, what would be your superpower or special ability?
Hands down, it's either going to be, it was flying, being able to, what's that?
I mean, it was flying.
Because I think I've been adjusting to just like instant teleportation.
That's mine. Did you steal it?
No. Listen, I want to fly because I just love the idea of flying and getting that. Now, I think the only way I would keep flying is if it was super, like if I could go really fast, like if I could get to New York in about 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm,
but the teleportation, just because it's just like, oh, I got to get home. You know what I mean?
Sean, this is so funny because literally they all know mine is teleportation of all the superpowers. And we had a debate the other day because my friend who came on the show, Andrew Guy, said his was flying. And I said, for me, it's just about practical. Teleportation's quicker. If flying was as quick. Look at us, Sean.
That's crazy. Look at that. But see, I've always dreamed. My dreams were always flying. And I mean, I haven't jumped out of the airplane yet, and I kind of want to do that.
I kind of want to do it too. What's holding you back?
So scared. Death.
What a lame excuse, Sean. Who cares about that? Gosh.
Well, because they say that the worst part, everybody says the same thing. The worst part is just when you open the door and you stand on the edge of the plane, and the little like rail thing, or you hold it, or when you're about to go, you go, well, your body, of course, goes, well, no.
Yeah.
And it's not really just you freaking out or being fearful. It's your actual human genetics and all our survival instincts going, well, no, this is the stupidest thing you've ever done. And then I've heard people get nauseous and stuff. And I mean, I think it's also that I put so much pressure that when you land, some people just go, it's the most amazing thing I've ever. But then some people are just like, I was terrified the whole way. And I don't want it to be crappy.
But if you're going to do it, Sean, because you want to do it, then it won't be crappy. Because
I guess you're right.
Because you're going to want that. I mean, it might be hard to initially jump, but then once you do, you did it.
Yeah, no, because there's two parts to that, right? You've made the jump, but then you really want that parachute to open. You know what I mean? And open well and safely.
But nothing you can do at that point. Before you jump, you could decide not to jump. Then it's still in your hands. Once you jump, there's nothing you can do. Your parachute doesn't open.
But there's still terror of, did I jump and choose death, or did I jump for the fun parachute ride? There's a big difference. That's a spectrum.
I hear you.
But I mean, how you don't jump out and go, well, I've accepted death.
Maybe.
Really? That's where you would go? I
think so, because it's the same way. So the way I want to die, Sean, I don't know if I've ever told you this, is I would like to die in a plane crash. I've always thought that.
Why?
I think mostly because there's nothing you can do. If a plane is crashing, I think
that's what makes people the most terrified.
Oh, that's the thing that
makes
lack
of control, right?
I'm the opposite. I love, if there's something I can do, I'm going to fight. If there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can
accept.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because people say, like, I can't imagine the last, the minute and a half where and I was in a plane that like had to land quickly.
No way.
Yeah, we were.
I didn't know that about you.
We were flying from New Jersey, my ex-wife and my ex-mother-in-law, and we were flying, and over like Atlanta or whatever, it went boom, and the what they don't tell you, the masks went down.
Oh, they really came out.
Oh yeah, and what they don't tell you is there's weird lighting, right? There's like the emergency lighting, and there's smoke everywhere. And you don't know what that is. And so what they told us after, it's the powder. They have powder in the masks.
Oh.
So it's this weird hazy thing. You're putting it on, and then all of a sudden the plane went, and it was just going like that. And I remember I was so freaked out. And it was my ex-wife who turned to me and goes, "Don't worry, we're okay so far." And I go, "How can you say that?" And she said, because the engine's going. The engine was going. Rrr. So what she was telling me was it's deliberate. This is a deliberate reason. And so we landed, I'm not kidding, within 10 minutes from being 35,000 feet in the air to on the ground.
Wow.
That's how fast. And think about when you start to descend, it's half an hour. And then 10 minutes from way up there.
But what happened, Sean?
Pressure. It was pressure. So they have to get below 10,000 feet, and then they have to look at the pressure, why the pressure was getting lost. That's why we had the masks.
Huh. Jesus.
And so to me, that
would be very scary.
No, but I cashed it. I was like, I'm done, because the stewardess literally goes, I've been flying for 30 years. Nothing's ever happened to me like that. And I go, I've cashed in my chip. I'm done. I can fly forever. I will never have anything happen to me again. So
that's one way of looking at it. But also, not to stress you out, Sean, but you ever hear about those people who die in the second shooting?
Oh, you know what? Really?
There was one person that I read about in one of the, I think it was Tarzana or something. And it was
it was in Vegas.
And it was their second shooting. And it was like, What are the fucking odds?
But she was alive, right?
Yeah, but she was fine. She ended
She
up
was
fine for
fine, but
both
she
of
was
them.
like, what it's
Yeah.
like bazillions to one,
Yeah,
right?
there are people who have lived in the second shooting, and there are people who have not in the second shooting. And it's like,
Ooh,
just how in your life are you in two of them? I mean, I think that says more about the times
yes.
than anything else.
Yeah,
I
but
and I trust people, I guess.
yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, I didn't know that. I want to
Yeah.
go into the super chat. This is from a long time ago, but Larry Leith, you're always our first super chat of the day. He says, "Come on, guys, hit that like button. Nice job, Roxy, on Binge Battle. Thank you. That was the Rotten Tomatoes thing. Team Jesse for sure. I don't understand people who are Team Walt. Obviously, I'm Team Jesse. Doesn't make sense to me otherwise. Also, I know that YouTube has been having some issues recently, and it doesn't send out push notifications for the streams for you guys. So thank you for being in here. Tell the rock stars that we are live right now, as YouTube did not, those bastards. And let's go into the Patreon, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer, going for questions for Sean. House Heisenberg, ooh, fitting considering I did the Breaking Bad thing, says, favorite memory from your time on set of Always Sunny. I love that show so much, and it's criminal that it never got any love at the Emmys. Sean, so you did an episode, right?
Yes.
And any favorite things from the set?
I mean, it's so hard. There was a few. There was one. I loved hanging out with the McPoyle girl, who was the English girl who never talks. She's the McPoyle sister who always does a weird thing with her tongue. Her and I had a great time, and she would give me gossip about the show, and because she's been on it several times, and we had to sit together this whole time. We were in a courtroom, so I was in the courtroom with her. That was one. The other one was talking to Danny DeVito, because we had both done Batman Returns. And so he and I chatted about that, and he was talking about the Penguins. And
how did that come up? You just went up to him and said something?
And I said, hey, and I said, well, he said, oh, he recognized me. He says, oh, I know you. And I said, well, I was actually in Batman Returns. And he goes, oh my God. We like pulled up a bench, sat down, and he's like, oh my God, they kept on telling me, because he had that weird big suit on, if everyone remembers.
Yeah, of course.
The Penguin, he said, they kept on saying, oh, they're sweet, they're nice, they're fine. And he goes, and they let the real ones in with the mechanical ones, and the real ones came over and just started pecking him viciously.
Oh, actual penguins, you're saying?
Yeah,
they're real, they're nice, they're fine.
Like, these are not docile. They were like violent and coming at him. So that was really funny.
How is Danny DeVito?
Super cool, really cool, very chill. And then I would say the other two was one, seeing Charlie Day and Glenn and Rob, the way they work. All three of them work. Like, one is in front of the camera doing the scene. One guy's kind of directing. One guy's behind the monitor. They're all like pitching things to each other and doing different takes. And they all three work together and rotated around. That was really cool and collaborative. I love that. And then lastly was Guillermo del Toro. When I went up, and I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but I walked up and said, hi, I just want, he goes, I know who you are. You're Roach from People Under the Stairs.
Wait, why Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro did Pacific Rim with Charlie Day. And so they had this father of this crazy family, the McPoyles. And so Charlie Day asked Guillermo to do it. So Guillermo was on the set.
Oh, my God.
And so I went up and I said, hey, he goes, I know who you are. You're Roach from People Under the Stairs, one of my favorites. And I said, oh my God, we just did a anniversary edition, and I have a t-shirt. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the DVD. It's just brand new. And he goes, no. I'll buy it myself. And I go, why? And he goes, residuals. And then I came home and I got his office and I sent him a Roach t-shirt to his office.
I don't remember you telling me that.
Really? Oh
yeah.
My God. Yeah. It was
Is that your only interaction with him?
Yeah. Yeah, but I got called in for a movie he was doing, and it was very similar to a Roach type character. So, yeah, I'm on his radar. So that was nice.
I feel like we need more Sean Guillermo collaborations.
Oof, I would love that. Hey, crust, man. You don't think I'm gonna not send him that short?
Oh my God.
He would love it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Matthew Gold says, what was it like being the pizza guy on Friends? What was your favorite role ever?
Pizza guy on Friends. It was still called Friends Like Us. It was very early. I had been friends with Lisa Kudrow. We were in the Sunday show together.
That's a Groundlings.
It's a Groundlings.
Show.
Yeah, Groundlings. We were at the Groundlings together, and we had known each other on and off for years. And I remember seeing her after she got fired from Frasier. I think the funny story, which I might have told before, but if you don't know, my ex-wife was Jewish, and Lisa was very fundamental Jewish. And so one time after the Sunday show, we sat there for hours, or like an hour after everyone had left the theater. We had to shut it up, and they had to kick us out. She was saying, "Don't marry a Jew because you're Catholic, or you're Christian, or officially Christian." I wasn't practicing anything, but she just said, "No, you should not cross the Jews need to stick together. You really."
Oh my God.
It was really kind of intense conversation, but we were still friends, and she was just debating why. It was more of me going, well, why? She was explaining a lot of things. So then we kind of saw each other for a couple times, and then she started dating this French man that she's still married to, who's Christian. And it was so great.
Oh, he's not Jewish?
He's not Jewish. So literally the first day I was there, I walked to her dressing room, and I remember knocking on the door, and she, because she knew the day I was coming in, I guess because of my call sheet, she literally opened up the door and went, "Okay, Sean, I know. I get it."
It was the first thing she said.
First thing she said, "I get it." And I go, she goes, I know. Okay. I was young. Okay. It was the first thing she said. So great. And it's so her too. She's like, okay. I know.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think there's validity to what she was saying?
Well, I understand the fear of losing the culture, right? Like that's the fear of
that mostly the point she was trying to make?
Yeah. That it's just, it's a people that need to be replenishing, not diluting. You know what I mean? Because
there's not many of us.
Yeah. And she was saying it's getting less, and then but listen, my daughters, and we were told by the rabbi, to pick a religion, either one. Do not. It's confusing for them. My daughters were fine. We did both, and they identify more as Jewish. They kind of gravitated towards that more. So
Well, who told you? Who gave you that advice?
Rabbi and a priest told us pick one. It's too confusing.
Huh.
So, yeah.
I
didn't. And we were like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Because my ex-wife was like, oh, I don't really care that much about Hanukkah that much. But as soon as she had little kids to share it with, of course
she wanted to.
Yeah, of course she wanted to. And I didn't care.
I think that, your kids are both, now they're more grown up, but like their decision to make. And I like that they had the options.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
both like strong, awesome women that are kick butt and make choices. And it's not too shabby for me that they chose Jew. So
you got a couple right there. There you go.
All right, going back into this, guys. I appreciate your questions coming in from Streamlabs. Let's see. This one's coming from Anthony Perez. He says, "Hey, Roxy and Sean, hope you're both doing well. One of the films I grew up watching and is still a guilty pleasure watch for me is Jury Duty, where you, of course, played Carl Wayne Bishop. Oh, okay. I have to know what working on that was like. Thanks a bunch. You too."
By the way, the other person I never answered, favorite character, it's two. Oh, yeah. It's my one from Never Been Kissed and Roach from People Under the Stairs. One's drama, one's comedy, but they were both the most kind of freeing. So
look at you, Sean, remembering to answer all that.
Well, I feel bad that I didn't finish, but so Jury Duty, the reason I remember, again, this was the time after the milk commercial. So I had heat, and I was the new kid people were like, ooh, I got a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
But they had known me from the Groundlings and stuff like that. So I had a decent enough reputation. So it was just kind of like the thing that helped. And so this was a part that was mostly nonverbal, funny facial expressions. And so that was from the Got Milk commercial. That's what I did, was funny facial expressions, quiet, like a Stan Laurel kind of thing. And they wanted someone who could do funny facial expressions. So I remember meeting with the casting director, and it was kind of like, well, you've got the part. We just want to know like this and that, and just telling me about it. That during my heat time, I didn't go to auditions. I had meetings. So I had meetings and they would cast you. And so now I know what it's like having heat and not
So
having
direct offers?
they were just meeting with me and say, hey, we've got a meeting for you, and and then they would call my agent and go,
Yeah.
hey, wait. No, but not direct. I mean, I
You
had
still
to go
meet.
through the
Yeah.
And then it was really fun to do. I knew Tia Carrera because we were in the same acting class together. This guy, Mark Story, who was the best coach in the world. And then it was like 4 of us in his grungy apartment in West Hollywood. And she was one of them. So I knew her, and I got to know Stanley Tucci, who was super nice. And it was fun. It was a fun part, and loved to make the crew laugh as always. And then the dailies were going so well that they said, we want to hire you for another couple days. And, my agent was so excited. We were all so excited. And then they sent the scene. And it was when Pauly Shore comes as a conjugal visit. And I was heartbroken because I just didn't I thought it was not as fun of a scene. And it broke the whole wall that I never spoke. And I had to be like, he's like, oh, and then of course he's grabbing me and the guard looks in and it looks like we're humping, and because he's dressed like a woman.
So what did you do?
But I had already accepted it.
Yeah.
And then I got the thing faxed to me. But the craziest thing is for fans, and I'm sure this fan might agree, is that it's one of their favorite scenes in the entire movie is when Pauly comes to have a conjugal visit.
How do you feel about it watching it now?
I wish I would have been able to just do what I was doing, continue to do what I was doing, and not, I was talking and like scared of him, and he's like, humping me, and I just thought like, it was so more. It was just at a different level. It was just more interesting. But I'm telling you, when I go to conventions, everybody loves that scene. So I was wrong. I mean, I was wrong in my instinct. The
it doesn't mean you were
really
wrong. It means you have different taste.
Yeah, I just have different taste.
Yeah,
because I thought, people will hate that.
And you were probably thinking about it from a character perspective of does this make sense? Not the overall.
It didn't make sense for everything that I had done so far. And then you have to obviously weigh everything, right? You go, but the studio loved what I was doing and wanted more
to give you more. Yeah,
and made more money and more piece of the pie residual wise, and
Sean, you mentioned the heat you got from the Got Milk commercial. Dodger Ryan says, Sean, it's Raymond Burr. Loved you in the milk commercial, but then he does 2 question marks. He's not sure. He loved you in the milk commercial? Maybe. Maybe. Take care, Roxy and Sean.
And this is funny. Raymond Burr is a character actor that played Ironside and Perry Mason. Aaron Burr is
I thought he was making a joke because this guy's name was maybe Raymond Burr. Maybe he meant, I don't know. Maybe his name is Aaron.
Say that to me all
really?
the time. Yep.
Oh, that's so funny because the only one I know is Aaron Burr.
Right, it's Aaron.
I can't think of anything other than Aaron, though, because that's how
I remember started laughing when I heard the first guy. I was in front of the Beverly Center. A guy raised down his thing and goes, Raymond Burr, Raymond Burr. He saw me and I started laughing. I go, oh my God, this guy said Raymond Burr. And then it's happened so many times.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Going over to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Weston says Roxyscaping should totally be a real product line. That last TikTok video, although he calls it a Time Tom video, was smoking. Also, Sean, have you ever done video game work? Okay, so a couple different things in here. First of all, we were talking about my TikTok video in which I show off my incredibly hairy legs. Go check it out. It's something. It's really something. I'm starting to feel them. I'm feeling the breeze blow when I walk by. So
yeah.
Bold is something. Yeah, I thought about doing it and then I did it. I was like, should I not post this? And then I was like, nah, fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm trying to be you on TikTok, Sean. And then about the video games, Sean, video game work. Have you done video game work?
No.
Any interest?
Yeah, why not? A gig's a gig. You know what I mean? It seems like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I've auditioned for them when I was really big in voiceover stuff. I auditioned. But I've never really booked any.
What are video game auditions like?
Just voiceover auditions. You go in a booth and they give you lines to read.
Yeah.
Look out over there. He's coming in hot. Things like that.
Those are the
That's my
lines.
military one.
Those are them. Ben M in here says, "Hi, I was way too young the first time I saw people under the stairs, and it freaked me out for a long time. Now I love it." Question for Sean: how was it to take on such a large role in that film without having any real dialogue to work with?
It was awesome. It was my first movie, and so I was in acting class, so I didn't have to worry about memorizing lines. So it was, but good point. First of all, a large role. If you take, because I had to pull all my scenes out for this thing I was doing for a screening, and I'm in the movie for 10 minutes physically, where you physically see me on screen. I'm in there for 10 minutes. You hear me maybe, so hearing me and stuff like that, maybe 15, 20. So it's not that large of a role in the sense of the picture, but it is memorable.
Memorable, yeah.
Super memorable. So I had just started working theatrically, and I did my first comedic thing on Ferris Bueller Can't Lose, the TV show, and my scenes were with Cloris Leachman. And I was a huge Young Frankenstein fan. And so that was my first gig. And then my second gig was People Under the Stairs. And I had worked with my coach, who said, this is not just a freaky guy running around screaming. There's more to it, and there's more emotion to it. And so I had to audition in Wes Craven's thing with the torn up, very few threads of a t-shirt, all torn up, crawling around his office floor, crying, hiding behind the chair, peeking out, laughing,
Wow.
giggling, like doing all these weird things. And then hearing all these other dudes with scantily clad shirts do the same thing. But it was great because I was in the right place at the right time. That was the perfect place in my acting class, where I was learning about emotional preparation, learning about just living it. And it was also just a hyper version of me when I was young. So I was 27 playing a 15-year-old. So I was super grateful to be there, and Wes was super into acting. He'd let me prepare before each scene, and I got to watch Ving Rhames prepare, and I learned stuff from him. So it was really fun. I was super relaxed on that set. I was never nervous. It was just great because I just thought, okay, this is good for me to be on this little tiny horror movie, because I wasn't super into horror. I knew that Wes created Freddy Krueger, but I didn't realize how big that's the one thing that's literally followed me
your whole career.
The 90s when it came out, and then I didn't really hear about it. And then when Facebook came out, that's when it changed my life. Literally in 2008 or whatever, when people all reached out, I had all these friend requests, and a friend of mine goes, "Dude, those are your fans." I go, "What are you talking about? I have no fans." And I just accepted like 400 requests in one day.
God.
And they were all literally like, "Come to this convention. Do you have autographed pictures? It's Roach. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah, wow.
It was crazy. And even on TikTok, like that's the thing. People love the Roach stories,
I want to speak about TikTok for a second because, Sean, I'm so fascinated by your TikTok.
Why?
Because I've been with you from the start of it, in which you were like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, when you were like, I'm hearing that I should be on TikTok.
Right.
So now, just so you guys know, Sean has tons of followers on TikTok. He's making
relatively not, but
tens of thousands of TikTok followers in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
40,000 in a short amount of time, and you got really funny stuff going on, but also about your career and whatnot. What was the impetus? Like, did you do it because you thought it would be helpful for your career? Do you just like the platform?
There's a girl to follow who I love. Her name is Katie Molinaro. She is a client of Gary's. I met her through my same manager, and she was doing some Instagram stuff, and she did a thing called Eat It Katie. And she's not a food critic, and she literally just goes to casual fun restaurants, pizza joints, burger joints, crazy Japanese food places. Not really super formal, but just casual places. So then she did a YouTube channel about she put a phone in her car, and we would just go to she'd get somebody to go to a fast food place with her. So I went with her to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we tried like their hot chicken sandwich. And then she started building that. And then I saw that she was doing TikTok, and I said, how do you like TikTok? She goes, it's great. I'm making money and for hardly any work, and I get to just be myself and be creative and fun. And I said, oh, I think I should try it. She goes, oh my God. I said, yeah, but I think I'm too old. And she goes, no, you'd be great on TikTok. It's for everybody right now.
Why did you think you were too old at first? Just because
because my daughter were talking about it, in the terms of Vine and things like that.
Yeah.
There's no old people on Vine. We're very few.
Is that true?
I don't think so. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Not the ones I saw, because obviously my daughters had theirs. So then I met with Katie.
So your daughters were on TikTok before you
on Vine, yeah. And
on Vine
Amy had told me about TikTok, but then I met with Katie, and then she was like, "Well, they saw me on my Instagram, so they hired me to do some stuff on TikTok." I go, "Well, that's not the same thing." You know what I mean? She was hired off her Instagram, so I was like, "Oh, well, I don't have a good Instagram." I said, "I'll try it." So I just started to fool around with it, and then one night I thought, "Oh, I have these really funny shorts about Dorothy 50 years later being bitter and angry."
You look so funny in those, Sean.
And I chopped those up and put those on. So then that got more exposure. And then with that, in the comments, people kept saying, "Are you the guy from? Are you the guy from? Are you Roach? Are you Steve Buscemi?"
Because that used to be your thing. Your handle used to be that guy, because that's your face. That you're that guy.
And they kept on saying, like, "Are you from this movie?" And then they were the wrong ones were, "Are you Bobby Brady? Are you Cricket from Always Sunny? Are you Steve Buscemi?" So then I finally put out a video going, they have a song that they go, "Yep, nope, yep."
Yeah,
and I did one that, "Are you Bobby Brady? Nope. Are you Roach from People on the Stairs?" Yep. And I did that. And that got really, really big. And then, what you do is you turn it into analytics, a business account, so you can check and see, and then you can see which videos are taking off. And then I'd watch the TikTokers, the people who are teaching you about TikTok. And so I'd watch a lot of those. And then I just started putting more stuff out and seeing what worked and what didn't. And I go to my analytics right now, and my top 9 trending videos, 7 of them are about me talking about. My biggest one right now is Wizards of Waverly Place, because that was getting a lot of questions. Wizards of Waverly Place. And I did one like what Disney Channel shows I was in. That's my second biggest one I ever did.
Is that because that's the audience that's on TikTok?
It just hit this because there's a bunch of horror people that like me, and then there's a bunch of people who like me for comedy. The one thing that was cool is what you go with your instinct and just throw it up there, just like you said. You said, "I don't know if I should do this or not." So I was walking to do a gig on Warner Brothers lot, and I said, "Ooh, that'd be fun to film myself walking around Warner Brothers lot." That's my biggest video to date, is people just go. And I said, "I can't tell you what the project is, but I will as soon as I can." And I was like, "Here's me at the commissary. Here's me at the front gate. Here's me walking around." I said, "It's a great day of work. I'll tell you when I can." And that thing blew up, because there was always a question of like, he's a little bit of a has-been actor. He obviously isn't doing anything anymore. And so he's on TikTok. And then when that went on there, then it changed. Everyone went, "Oh."
Did you feel like that was the vibe, or was anybody saying that?
A few people said that. But the negative comments always hit harder than the positive ones.
Yeah, of course. It's like 3 people that say that, and a million people are so happy to see you.
But I think that changed the legitimacy of it. And then when I realized so many people, like, for example, you don't know, I put up a story about me being Roach, right? And then that did really, really well. And I said, "Leave in the comments what you want me to talk about." Everybody, Twister.
Yeah.
Then I did that one like a week later. Never gained the traction of the Roach one. The Roach one's still growing, and so I asked my daughter. I said, "I don't get it.
Is it about the tags?"
No, she said, "You were super memorable in People Under the Stairs. You weren't that memorable in Twister." And I go, "Yeah, but it was a much bigger movie." And they said, and she's right.
Your daughters are so honest,
right? But she's right. Like,
yeah,
I was in Twister, but I was a memorable character in People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And then, like, Wizards of Waverly Place, I'm discovering how many people loved that one episode that I was on. It was a Halloween episode. Danny Roebuck was on that with me. You remember us talking about that?
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
And that was like an iconic character, and people remember that character. So
Sean, going back to some of the other questions in here from streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Glenn says, Sean, here are a couple food related questions for you.
let's do it.
Number one, what's your favorite go-to meal to have when you feel down or out of sorts?
I think it would kind of be either an In-N-Out burger with a drink, because I usually don't get a drink. I'll do water, but I'll get like I will get a soda. I'll get a soda, and if I'm really, it's a shake. But when I have to be really good and I get my blood drawn and stuff, after I do that, I usually go to a local place called Sweet Butter, and I will get their chicken and waffles. They're phenomenal.
Sweet Butter is great.
Yes,
Yeah.
chicken and waffles at Sweet Butter. I love.
Yum.
Like that's one
Yum.
of my places I go for sure.
Number two is favorite breakfast cereal.
Sugar. They used to be called sugar corn pops, but now they're it's either that or Captain Corn Pops or Captain Crunch.
Are corn pops the same as just pops?
Yeah, now they're called pops. I think the yellow puffy things.
Yeah.
But I used to but now I'm kind of leaning into, as my birthday comes and I pick a cereal that I don't eat, I'm starting to pick Captain Crunch a little bit.
What are you talking about?
On our birthdays, we get to pick our breakfast. And so
When's your birthday?
May 19th. And so we get breakfast in bed and you get to pick your cereal. And you always used to be cereal. But I picked the Captain Crunch recently. First time in years that I haven't picked corn pops. So it's a little controversial.
Why did you have to pick a month in advance?
I don't. I'm just saying that's what's happened. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of years.
What are you picking this year?
I don't know.
Ooh, that will be the question. Keep us
posted.
That
will be the question. I don't know. I'm for some reason recently I've been kind of craving sugar pops a little bit more. At this stage, I've got a few weeks. I'm leaning towards sugar pops.
We have different taste. I'm a Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Lucky Charms kind of gal.
My daughters, I love Lucky Charms. My daughter Amy lives and dies by Lucky Charms.
Oh, it's got the marshmallows are so good.
The marshmallows are hellishly good.
Marshmallows. Glenn Caesar's third part of this food-related question was favorite dessert?
Chocolate raspberry cake.
Sean, I love chocolate raspberry cake.
I love raspberry with chocolate. I will do that in a mousse. Chocolate raspberry mousse. Chocolate and raspberry is my most favorite thing in the world.
I love that. Me too. We need to split some big chocolate raspberry cakes. Whenever I go to a wedding and that's what the cake is, I'm like, I want this couple to succeed so bad. Please. They have great taste. Clearly, they're the right couple.
Yeah. Or and then chocolate cake with an infusion of raspberry. I love it all.
So good.
And I will even I'm going to go further. When I go to an ice cream place or a gelato place, I will get a scoop of chocolate and a scoop of raspberry sorbet.
Be honest, I don't like that. Nope, don't like that.
Come on. It's the same flavor we just talked about.
I'm not a big chocolate ice cream girl. I don't feel like chocolate ice cream tastes like chocolate.
Okay.
It's got like a chalkier.
See, that's like a fundamental difference that I can't go to. Wow. Like I was talking to a conservative friend of mine who was literally and we were talking about politics and she just said, listen, I'm an old school Hispanic Catholic Christian. And so then you go, well, then we're done. You know what I mean? Not that I'm mad at you. It's just then there's
no, we're not going to find common ground. And that's how I feel about this chocolate ice cream thing.
And if you're saying chocolate ice cream is not chocolate, then we're done. This conversation.
Not really. It's just really not. So
there's that part. It is part.
It would be if it was, but it's not. So it isn't.
Of course. Except when it is and it's perfect.
When it would be nice. However, I haven't found that, so therefore it isn't.
Right.
And then the last part of the food question, your favorite late night snack.
It depends if I've indulged in some cannabis.
Yes. We are very 420 friendly here.
All right. I would say, that's a good one. Late night snack. if I have, I mean, I liked baked lays, but I think if I had like a 420 thing, it would be a chocolate candy, maybe a scoop of some sort of ice cream, maybe cookies and cream, and some Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its.
Together with the.
Yeah, I'd do the sweet, and then I'd have a little bit of savory, and then I have a little bit of sweet after.
All right. I don't hate it. I like all of your suggestions in the chat right now too. Richard Ganther says, I have to throw in some love for peanut butter crunch.
Okay.
I hear you. I do hear you.
Peanut butter crunch ice cream?
No, I think he's just on the cereal.
Oh, peanut butter crunch cereal. No, it's not going to happen for me.
I hear you. I respect your decision.
It's trying because I don't believe that feels like such fake peanut butter that I can't go there.
Kind of like the same way that chocolate ice cream is fake chocolate, right? Similar.
No, because it's pure and it's from the cocoa bean. See, my argument falls apart when I say, well, no, your peanut butter is fake, but my corn puff is.
Yeah, your corn puff is for sure
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can argue with that, Sean.
No one can argue with that logic.
Let's get to Richard Ganther in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. We have 10 minutes left in the show, guys. So if you want your comment read, question asked, get in to the Streamlabs or the Super Chat right now. Richard says, Sean, how was your time working on Lost? Was that a part that was pushed to you, or was it something you pursued out of personal interest? Apologies if you've been asked this a million times.
No, I haven't been asked that a million times. And that's an interesting question because I was a huge fan of the show. But years before that, I had done a show with Eddie Kitsis and Adam Horowitz, my neighbors, a friend of mine's show up in Canada. We became very friendly. That one was called Life as We Know It. It was a short-lived ABC show. I shot it up in Canada. We became friendly, and my teacher was kind of wimpy and kind of annoying. And they said, ooh, wouldn't it be funny to have that teacher on this island? So they pitched this idea of Neil Frogurt and I guess he was and I saw episodes where he was mentioned. And they were like, oh, Frogurt's this. And they were trying to get me on the show. And then they finally, when they had the writer's strike, they were doing this thing called they were doing these webisodes. And so they brought me there as kind of an audition to be on the show. It was kind of terrifying because they were like, no pressure, but you're doing this short film and if you screw it up, then you won't be on the real show. No pressure. But man, I was nervous for that one. I remember waking up a little bit early that day and I was like, oh my God, but then, so the crazy part was that happened before season 4. And then the show went on for a year. And then I got a call. I just watched the episode where the island disappeared and Jeremy Davies, who was a friend of mine from Twister, was in the boat with all the people.
You were a fan. You were up to date.
Super fan of Lost. And then I literally got the call. I remember exactly what I was doing. I was doing stuff on my outside tree. We were putting up decorations for something. And I got the call and they said, you're going to go. I had an offer that I was going to be on Lost. So I was watching Jeremy Davies in a boat, watching the island disappear. And 6 weeks later, I was in the boat with him on the set. It was the weirdest sensation I've ever had because I had just watched and loved the episode. And then I'm literally it felt so weird. It was so strange to be.
That's strange to even hear. I can't imagine being that.
Oh, it was so weird because it was my friend Jeremy from Twister and we were chatting, but then he got in his costume and sat in the boat and I got in the boat and I was like, what the heck? And they're matching the shot I just saw.
Oh, yeah. Sean,
so weird.
Is there extra pressure for you when it's something that you love? Like for me, I mean, two of my favorite shows of all time. Excited. Yeah, of course. But like two of my favorite shows of all time are Friends and Lost. Obviously, at the time, you didn't know what Friends was going to turn out to be. But at that point, you know that Lost is huge. When you're going out for those things or when you're actually, once you book them and you're filming them, is it a different level of like, don't fuck this up?
Oh, yeah. I remember like I was panicked in my hotel room. And I hadn't done that in a long time where I was like laying there going, oh my God, am I going to screw this up? And and then you're tired because you haven't slept. And so it's easy, But I got there and I was super fine with that one and I let it go. And then when I The hardest thing was getting the script and going, oh my God, here it is. And I started reading it, and I'm annoying Sawyer, and I'm thinking, that's what I'm going to be, the guy who annoys Sawyer. I'm such a perfect foil for that person. And then literally 2 pages in, the flaming arrow comes and says you're dead. And so and then I started to get really bummed. And then you're really conflicted because you're like, wait, but I got on this show. I should be so happy, but I was so bummed I got killed so early, you know?
Yeah.
So it's this weird, it was super
the right
weird.
decision for the show, for the character.
Yeah, I think so. But it's also hard when you hear that 2 writers like, we tried to get you on over and over again, and then you do get like, well, why didn't they want me then? Like, you know what I mean? And I did well on the film. You don't know, but I got on it. People remember it because, again, Danny Roebuck and me had the most memorable deaths on that show. He exploded, and I got a flaming arrow in the chest. And everyone talks about, and he and I are great friends, as you know.
Yeah, which is funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Glenn Caesar in here says, great show today, Roxy and Sean. You both crushed it. 2 big thumbs up. By the way, wasn't Kelly Osbourne on Life as We Know It, was she?
Yes, she was.
Oh, the more you know. Another question coming in the Streamlabs from Richard, who says, to Roxy and Sean, any quarantine hobbies? I bought a piano and some lessons. It's been so amazing. Thanks to both of you for all that you do. Well, shout out to you, Richard, for buying a piano and taking lessons. Because I hear a lot of people right now are buying things, but they're not actually doing those things.
Right.
You know, people who are like, I'm going to get a
puzzle.
guitar and I'm going to learn, but then they don't learn.
Yeah, we
so
put out a puzzle that we didn't do.
Yeah, but okay, at least that's a $10 investment, not a piano.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're going to buy a piano, learn to play it. So good for you, Richard. Any quarantine hobbies, Sean? What are you up to?
No, mine is absolutely the TikToking because it's brand new, you know, and I'm learning it.
That as a hobby right now? Is that how you look at it?
No, I mean, it's starting to go into a business thing. I've definitely started to get some brand people reaching out that are kind of weird, and, you know, and I'm learning so much how to monetize it. I do. So just to let you know, for people who want to interact with me, I do a live TikTok every Friday from 2:30 to 4:30. It's what I call my Quarantine. And I do a live chat with you, and I'm signing autographed photos for half off. I usually sell them for 40, but I'm selling them for 20, including shipping. And what's so cool is we're talking. You send the money through Venmo or PayPal. I just like Roxy's getting the questions right now. I'll get it. And you will watch me as my daughter holds the camera, sign your picture live.
So great. Technology is so crazy.
It's so great. And then the next thing I do is I'll hold up the picture in front of me and smile so you can take a screenshot of me holding your picture. And then I send it out to you. And that's every Friday from 2:30 to 4:30. I have pictures from Lost, obviously Roach People Under the Stairs, 3 from Hell, Friends, Never Been Kissed, Employee of the Month, Wizards of Waverly Place.
TikTok live, right?
That's a TikTok live. And so all you got to do is go to my account.
Yeah.
You go to my TikTok, my account, and starting at 2:30, you'll see me live, and I shout out everybody. So,
what do you? Oh, you shout out everybody who joins.
I mean, and when I read names, it's so weird. When I see some lives, sometimes people are just like making dinner. They're not even acknowledging the people. They'll lean down and grab one question. Like I'll say, "Hey, so and so, where are you from?" And I'll try to read everybody's names. You know, I try to as much as I can.
A friend of mine is in here right now, fellow AfterBuzz host also. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong thing. It went away. Sorry to Hunter. That's not who I meant to put up. Brandon Hanna. Brandon says, I bumped into Daniel Roebuck once when we were both getting pizza. He was the nicest guy. I was so disappointed in myself that I momentarily forgot he played Dr. Arts. That happens to me sometimes when I see somebody that I'm a fan of, and then just the second they walk away, you're like, oh, you were my favorite show, and I didn't even say anything. So I get it.
Well, Roxy knows. Like, Danny's the nicest guy in the world.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's really
such
awesome.
a good guy. Yeah,
I like him a lot. Sean's introduced me some really great people.
Yeah, very
Sean.
cool. You're welcome.
Sean.
You're welcome.
We are getting out of here, but thank you guys for joining. And like Sean said, go follow him on TikTok. On the thing that is below him right now, Sean Whalen Actor is not his handle on TikTok.
That's my Instagram and Twitter.
And I argue about this, but you are Sean Whalen 19?
Yeah, at Sean Whalen 19. Yeah, and again, the only reason is because people none of the actors are doing that. So I just felt like I didn't want to. I don't know. It felt weird. It felt weird. In the culture of TikTok, it didn't seem to fit. You know what I mean?
I don't know. What do you mean they're not doing that? You mean they're not putting the word
There's
actor?
literally not one actor I know that has actor anywhere near them. They put in their bio, which I do, but they do not put it in their name. And I don't know why. I think it's like you got to earn it.
Do you see
It
people do
sounds-
that?
it-
You
it
see
sounds-
people do that on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah. It seems thirsty on TikTok. So I don't want to do that.
And guys, true lessons here on Live with Roxy. You don't want to seem thirsty.
Don't.
It might take you a minute, but
Oh,
you just don't
so
want to
mad.
seem thirsty.
So angry. And just a shout out that Roxy is now working with me on a cool creative thing that she will let you know about soon.
I absolutely will. I'm excited about that. Also, we do a show for AfterBuzz every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, Acting Class Weekly. If you are an aspiring actor or a person in this industry, a working actor, somebody who just wants to be involved or know more about the behind the scenes of things, I think it's a really awesome show. Honestly, I learned so much from Sean every week. But this last week really impressed me. Sean talked about his actual self-tape that he made, because casting directors right now are looking for people to just put themselves on tape to refresh themselves with actors that they already know. And Sean wrote and starred in, of course, his own self-tape, and we go through the process of that. And I definitely
I was so shy showing that to you guys.
you were so incredible. It was very sad. It was very sad. The scene that Sean wrote, unlike a lot of his like bigger hysterical or what creepy. No, this was like sad and earnest and made me want to cry. So, if you're in the mood for a good cry, go check out.
We got our producer to shed a little tear. Remember?
I know.
He was moved.
Dead inside. So I was
Yeah,
shocked.
very shocked.
Also, guys, I've got a ton of stuff coming up this week. Tomorrow, I haven't done a solo stream in a long time, so I want to do a solo one. I'm thinking that I'm going to do a Patreon for Glenn. I think I'm going to do Legos tomorrow. I'm not positive yet, though, so don't hold me to it. But something like that. I've got an unboxing to do as well. But on Saturday, I wanted to make an announcement that we're going to do a Live at the Roxy, a regular Live at the Roxy, but for the nighttime, we are going to do a World Girls episode, which I'm stoked about. 7 p.m. We're doing a new episode of World Girls, and we are giving ASMR a whirl. So, Sean, you know ASMR?
Yes, I do.
We've never tried it, so we are giving ASMR a whirl. It's going to be weird as hell. We're taking suggestions of what things you guys want us to have nearby. I hear like blush brushes and like
you have to have some crinkly paper or something.
Yeah, crinkly stuff.
Oil or stuff.
None of the three of us understand, for fuck's sake, what the hell ASMR is, but we are going to give it a whirl.
It might take you a minute to learn it.
It really might take us a minute. I don't think it's going to take us a while, but it might take us a minute.
Well, here's the truth, Roxy. You don't have a while.
No, I don't have a while.
You
I
don't
literally
have
have a minute.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but also
because if I said you have a while, because you understood as soon as I said you don't have a while, you understood immediately you don't have a while.
Sean, let me ask you this. Have you ever said, I'm in the mood for chocolate, and really what you were talking about was ice cream?
Yeah.
No. You would say ice cream.
Damn it. Now you're piercing my soul. You're right, because I will say I'm in the mood for chocolate ice cream. No, but see, there's a cold element that I love. It's kind of refreshing, the cold part. No, because sometimes I want chocolate and I will absolutely go to the ice cream because the candy bar is too dry and a little, and I'm going to still need like...
The ways you just made makes me want to die.
Yeah, but it's you know what I'm talking about. The chocolate, then you need the cold glass of milk to go with it, so I may as well just get the ice cream.
What are you gonna do? Milk with ice cream? Ugh.
No, milk with a chocolate bar.
Wow.
Also,
I hate milk. And quick announcements too. Next week, guys, on Sunday, we've got Rachel Cushing joining us. On Monday, Dom Burns, who wrote Madness in the Method, the movie that I was in, and also is a producer for Kevin Smith and Jay Muse. So he's coming on. On Tuesday, Ashley Daniels is coming on, the one that Sean met me with in the Star Trek outfit. She's teaching me how to put hair extensions in. I've never done that before. So we're going to do a whole bizarro hair extension thing. And on Wednesday, Yell Teagle. So it's a guest-filled week again. But shout out to Sean Whalen with the best stories, even stories that I didn't know today, Sean. So thank you, everybody. You guys know we like to give a round of applause We're all feeling this together. For Sean, clapping for yourself, Sean. That's good.
Thank you.
Sean, you
very
rock.
much.
Thank you for being with us today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Our Friday time is 2:30. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2:30 live at the Roxy.
And Roxy, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, we got our thing.
Yeah, we can't
tell
tell. We can't
you.
wait. Can't tell.
Secret. We can't tell you
All
guys.
right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank